Hello everyone, JSGC here, and we are here again for another Manchester City transfer update. Before we crack on with this transfer, not too much news, but we have got a big update on Joao Cancelo for you to stay tuned for, and also some details with Kyle Walker's new contract. But before we get on with that, just wanted to say thank you everyone so much for all of the support that you've shown my channel over the last 2 years whilst I've been doing YouTube. It's been absolutely amazing, and long may all the support continue. And remember, you can help support my channel by leaving a thumbs up, make sure you leave a comment and subscribe and press the bell and put your push notifications on. And if you're interested, you can go check out my social media in description below and popping up on screen for my Twitter and Instagram. So we're going to crack on with this video, and we're going to talk first about the big update, what's on everyone's lips at this moment in time, Joao Cancelo. Now, Tutto Sports in Italy, they've been saying that Cancelo's deal to join Manchester City is days away. Now, I dealt with these guys last summer with lots of sources with Jorginho, and they just strung things along for about 4 weeks. And so I don't take what they're saying as gospel. In fact, quite the opposite. In fact, I'd probably distance myself and I'd say that things aren't as close as what things appear to be. We do need Danilo. We know this. We need him to leave first for Manchester City to be able to sign his replacement in Cancelo. Whilst he's at Manchester City, we won't be signing Cancelo. That's as far as I'm concerned. This isn't days away. This isn't within the next week or so, unless, of course, we'll get a big update on Danilo. And if I do, I will let you know first. But at this moment in time, not really got much of an update with regards to Danilo, other than Inter Milan aren't interested, distance themselves completely now away from Danilo signing for them, and as far as I'm concerned, Juventus aren't too keen either. But Tutto Sport was saying that Pep is keen and wants Cancelo. We're talking a fee of £45 million-ish, there or thereabouts. It's been reported by Goal, €50 million, so again we're looking at around £45 million fee. Juventus are apparently happy for this. It just needs signing and sealing basically, but first we do need Danilo to leave, or at least have something lined up for him. Now, yesterday I was just flicking through the Sky Sports transfer column and I came across an interesting story which was saying that Juventus were in London at the offices to speak with Manchester United. Of course, they were speaking to Chelsea too. I'm not sure if they were speaking to United at the same time, whether that's just a bit of fake news or not, but they were definitely in London, their representatives for Juventus, because they were getting the compensation package for Sarri to go and join Juventus, which is now near enough being concluded. So anyone that thinks Pep's going to Juventus, he isn't. But it's also been reported by Sky Sports that we're saying that Juventus want Paul Pogba, and they've opened up the first early discussions about a deal for Paul Pogba, and the fee would be astronomical. So they were thinking about maybe using Cancelo, because I know United's keen on a right back. United, of course, have made the first bid for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. £40 million was rejected. They're going in for a new bid. I don't know how much that is, but Crystal Palace said they'll accept anything below £50 million. So we're talking a similar fee for Cancelo there or thereabouts. Of course, Cancelo playing for Juventus, and Wan-Bissaka's had a good season at Crystal Palace, and an English player, so obviously the fee's probably going to be a little bit more, because that's what they tend to do with English players, which is really, really annoying. But there we go. So it seems United's name is being talked about, but that's more kind of from the Juventus end. And I was just thinking this might just be from the Sky end as well, because they're obviously going to want to generate enough interest with Paul Pogba joining Juventus to get people to possibly gamble and bet on this, because we run Sky Bet and things like that. So I'm not too sure Cancelo to Manchester United is all that, or Paul Pogba going to Juventus is all that. I'd be surprised at the move, but it's a summer transfer window. Literally anything can happen. But anyway, this morning, Sam Lee working for Goal, but not for much longer, he announced, so that's a shame because he's a good source to use. But he was saying that Manchester City is set to finalise a move for Danilo to leave, which I found interesting. I'm not too sure where he's going. I know Inter Milan and Juventus have near enough both ruled themselves out of that, so where else he's going to head, I do not know. Of course, City said they wanted as much of the £26 million back as possible. I'm not too sure they're going to get too much for him. They was hoping to get around £22 million. Bids were thought to be of around £13 to £15 million. Maybe it could be negotiated to meet them halfway at somewhere like around £18 million, but I'm not too sure. But it was suggesting that Danilo leaving seemed quite close, and Cancelo's all near enough signed and sealed. €50 million fee. Cancelo wants to join Manchester City, and so I suspect there'll be a lot more interest in this story as of tomorrow. So make sure you do stay tuned for more updates. This is kind of a developing story. things heat up and cool down all the time in the transfer window, though, so I wouldn't get too excited, but it's a step in the right direction, I suppose. Of course, we've been reporting about Cancelo now for the last couple of days, and it seems City have been just upping the tempo just a little bit, and they're starting just to up it to that next level. I'm hoping at some point we might get a Danilo announcement. I know as soon as Danilo's leaving Manchester City, we will move in, and we'll move in very quickly for a right back, so Cancelo could be that player, and he could be City's first signing. We first need to sort out Danilo, so I'm going to chase up today, see if I can get more details of where Danilo possibly may well head. Maybe Juventus or Inter Milan have decided overnight that they do want him. I don't know, it's difficult to find what's true and what is not. But we'll move on and we'll talk about Harry Maguire. Now, strong rumours have been going around that Lewis Dunk is set to sign for Leicester from Brighton. You might be thinking, why on earth does that involve us? Well, they're talking a fee of around £30 million. And I was just reading around some of Leicester's fans' thoughts, and they were thinking that this is definitely a potential replacement for Harry Maguire, rather than signing him to play alongside him. More of a replacement being lined up, and so that's a possible direction that might be heading in. I know there's a little bit of interest in Lewis Dunk, so it'll be interesting to see if it is Leicester that do sign him, because that does suggest then possibly that Harry Maguire may well be off. Of course, they're wanting somewhere around £80 to £90 million for Harry Maguire. Interest from Man City and Man United, both of them cooled their interest because fee is a big problem. Was being reported by Sky Sports, though, again possibly for betting purposes, saying that United are willing to pay £80 million for Harry Maguire, which I know for fact that Manchester United are getting sick of paying astronomical fees and over the odds of players to beat clubs to signing these players. They don't like and don't want to keep doing this, so why they continue to do this, it doesn't make sense. But I'll keep an eye on that one. If the fee was a bit further down, like we're talking £50 to £60 million, I'd say it'd be a very interesting race between us and United. Of course, Harry Maguire, it is believed that he would rather join City than United, so we'll keep an eye on that developing story. But as far as I'm concerned, City kind of cooled their interest, and they haven't really shown much interest yet, but the focus seems to be on Cancelo right now rather than Harry Maguire. Of course, as soon as we get things cleared up with Danilo and Cancelo, or possible other right back, we're also interested in Wan-Bissaka. If he doesn't join United, then of course we'll step up our interest in a possible centre back and defensive midfielder. It's a long summer, this one. We've got plenty of work to be doing. Now, an update on yesterday's story, the Sao Paulo youngster Antony. Now, he's wanted by Ajax apparently too. Now, Sao Paulo, they want to be able to put Antony onto a new contract so they can give him a bit of a pay rise, and also, most importantly for their point of view, raise his release clause. At the moment, we're talking around £19 million release clause. However, they want to up that to around £45 million, so a €50 million release clause, and they're hoping that'll put off the clubs from around Europe. Of course, I couldn't imagine City paying that much money for a young, unproven player from South America. I mean, Gabriel Jesus didn't even cost that, so there we go. I did note that Antony could reject a new deal and leave if he wants to, as soon as his clause in his contract is met with some club willing to pay to release him from his contract. Might be Manchester City, they might be willing to do that. I'm not too sure, but do remember though, if City do decide to do that, they do want to loan him to Sporting Lisbon over in Portugal, per our new partnership that we have with Sporting Lisbon, with the link between the two clubs, where City get first dibs on their young players from their academy, and they're able to loan players from Manchester City, and also help them with financial fair play too, because City can sign young players with the purpose of them heading to Sporting Lisbon. And so he might well be the first in that deal. It'll be interesting to see if Ajax come in for the race, see if the signs a new deal too. That'll make things probably less interesting, because that's probably going to cool all the interest, but still, we'll keep an eye on that one. But we've got a new name that's been linked with City. Now, this has come in the form of Agustin Almendra. I hope I'm saying his name right, but he's from Boca Juniors. He's been linked, 19-year-old midfielder, €20 million release clause. Sources in Italy have been saying that City are chasing his signature, along with Inter Milan, Juventus, and also FC Porto, but they believe that Napoli are the favourites to sign him. I doubt we're going to go in for him too with so much interest, but still, I found it interesting, a new name, something new to talk about, which I'm always keen on, because literally we just had the same names chucked out every single day with contrasting stories, so it's nice to see a new name, in my opinion. Now, last but not least in the news, we've got no out news, of course, as of yet, so hopefully some tomorrow, but we've got some contract news. Big news this with terms of Kyle Walker. If you're a Kyle Walker fan, You're going to be delighted with this. Kyle Walker is set to sign a new 2-year contract extension at Manchester City. He's got his current contract, which runs until 2022, so he'll be here till 2024. Kyle Walker, listen to this, was really keen on staying. Talks started at the end of last season after the FA Cup. Talks have been completed very quickly. He's signed. He wants to stay at Manchester City, which is what you want to see from a player, of course, committing so quickly and very keen to stay at Manchester City too. This has been reported by Sam Lee at Goal. It's been reported by various other newspaper outlets and media outlets across the United Kingdom. So this one I believe to be extremely reliable and should be happening. That could even be announced today. So if you're a fan of Kyle Walker, that is great news. But City tying down another player to a contract. No update on Zinchenko just yet. He's set to sign a new deal too. And of course, we're wanting the biggies, Leroy Sané and Ilkay Gundogan. No updates on them as of yet. Maybe tomorrow might be that day. So there we go. That's been the video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, it helps me out if you leave a thumbs up, so I know that you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you happy Kyle Walker's staying for an extra 2 years at Manchester City? Do you want Cancelo to come in and Danilo to leave? Let me know your thoughts of that in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, press the bell and put your push notifications on. We're aiming for 4,000 subscribers. We're not too far away. We've made some very good gains over the last few weeks, so thank you everyone for the continued support. And if you're interested and want to stay in the loop with all things Manchester City transfer news and daily transfer updates throughout all of the summer 2019 transfer window, then make sure you subscribe, press the bell, put your push notifications on to be notified when I've uploaded. Go and check out my social media in description below, my Twitter and Instagram popping up on screen, because go and follow me on Twitter in particular, then you can be kept up to date ASAP with all things City, because I'll retweet sources and things happening so you can stay up to date as quickly as possible. Go and check out my Instagram too, and I'll see you all again for the next video. So it's been JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.